Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to be having Testimonial Thursday. I'll open up by sharing one or two testimonials just with the patches that have worked with me and my wife, and then I want to share one testimonial of a gentleman that had some amazing results over the last 2 days. So, firstly, my journey on the patches, I only actually saw my major results in month 5. Obviously, my first day went through a bit of a detox and then told Chris that I wasn't really feeling anything. By month 5, suddenly all the pain in my shoulder that I had, old rugby injuries for the last 12 years, suddenly vanished. All the stiffness in my neck and inflammation in my shoulders disappeared. I used to often go for a sports massage or have to go to the chiropractor just to click my back and my neck so that I wouldn't have so much tension in my neck and my shoulders. And that for me was just absolutely mind blowing. And being on the patches now for a good 9 months, and every single month I feel better and healthier and stronger. And then a testimonial that I can share with my wife. She was also about 5 months on the patches, and she has a bit of a stigma on her eye, so she can't see definition long distance. And within wearing the patches for 5 months, her eyesight started to improve dramatically, and she could start seeing number plates. She could start seeing and recognizing people's faces, and that for me was amazing. But yesterday was for me probably one of the most amazing testaments of not only this group of people, but also the industry that we are in. So I signed up a lady in Saldanha, and she contacted me yesterday, said, listen, she wants to send me a quick video about this pastor who went for a back operation, is in tremendous pain. It was supposed to be a very simple procedure, and then they operated and put like a frequency machine on his spine, just for him to test it for the next week. And then they actually nicked his spinal cord. He had some leakage in spinal fluid and was just in absolute pain. I was driving to the Northwest Province yesterday, so I told my wife to quickly play the video, had a look, and she then sent me this pastor's wife's telephone number. And I quickly sent her a voice note, explained what the patches could do. She had watched a video that the friend that I introduced to the business had sent her, and she stays out in Cape Town. So I needed someone who had stock and someone who was willing to meet this lady somewhere. And the people that I have in my team in Cape Town have just recently started, and I know that they wouldn't have the Ice Wave in stock or the X39. I phoned Chris, he was in the UK. He quickly sent me Beverly's number. I connected with her. I've never met her. She was apparently at our summit, so she did see me there. She took my call. She stays all the way out in Paarl, which is probably a good, 30-minute drive back to Cape Town. She arranged to get some X39 and Ice Wave to the lady yesterday. They patched her husband, and this morning they said that 98% restoration and pain gone. Tomorrow morning, he's supposed to go for another back operation for them to actually install this machine into his spine as a pain blocker. And they said that these patches have worked so well, they're going to cancel the operation and rather use the patches for the next 2 to 3 months. I mean, that for me was just absolutely mind blowing, that while you're driving, you can quickly connect with someone who's in the UK who could send you a telephone number of someone in Cape Town who you've never met, but is so passionate to help someone that you would get into her car, drive all the way for this lady and offer her some patches. And she didn't even charge her for the 3 days of patches that she gave her. And this morning, Connie actually signed up and is in the business, and her husband is feeling so much better. So that is just absolutely amazing. I told my wife there's no other industry I'd like to be in, because the love that people have for one another just to organize things is just so amazing. That's my testimony. Lilani, I don't know if you want to maybe jump on and share your testimony for us. I think it would be awesome.
Hi, everyone. My testimony is about my son. He's 13 years old. He's got a few health concerns. But the reason I wanted to get him to start patching him was because of his chronic juvenile arthritis. And okay, Caspian is ADHD as well. So I've been patching him for 3 weeks. Today is exactly 21 days. And Caspian has been pain-free from day one. And as a mom, having a son that's in pain every single day of his life, his ankles, his wrists, his neck, everything, his back, he is in pain. He was in pain 24/7. And now my child is pain-free, and it is just amazing. And I can't wait to see what else is going to happen for him. Something that I've noticed only on the weekend was the skin on the bottom of his legs, on his shins. It's like really scabby, and I get the heebie-jeebies when I have to touch his legs because it was so coarse and rough. And I've tried creams and ointments, and nothing helped. And for the first time, I can touch his legs and not freak out because of what it feels like, because it feels like you're rubbing a lizard. And his skin is smoothing out at the bottom of his legs. And his teacher is saying that he's so much calmer in class. I've medicated him. He was on medication for ADHD that caused, like, he was very aggro and whatever, very moody. Took him off, and I just said, well, everybody just has to deal with his ADHD. And now they're telling me he's calmer in class, he's more focused. So I had 3 wins in 21 days with my son. That is my testimony.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's absolutely awesome. Inga, I don't know if you would like to share your testimony for us. Inga, if you can just unmute yourself first, please.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hi, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I would like to share my story, my way fighting with knee arthritis. I'm not having probably bone-to-bone yet, but it's quite painful. My job is I'm a chemist. I'm walking around the benches every single day, almost 8 hours in a row. And in the end of this walking, it's quite painful. I can't fold my leg, but I passed already all these traditional and non-traditional, exhausted all the ways, acupuncture, physiotherapy, like chiropractors. So doctor gave me maximum 2 years before full knee replacement. And here, by God's grace, came patches in my life accidentally. And I thought that why not to try? Because I have 2 years, nothing to lose. And I started patching using protocol with X39 and X49. And on my knee, AON on the inner left, and glutathione on the outside. And I also have carnosine on the top of the kneecap. That's quite a money, but I decided to give it a try. And anyway, surgery would have been much worse. And I would say that first time when I put these plasters, especially X39, I would suddenly realize that I don't think about my pain, about my knee and my lower back. And I was walking normally, and it's just strange. And colleagues ask, why are you running around the lab like a crazy squirrel you used to drag, and now you are running around? But it's probably still early time to speak about, but I hope very much that I will fight this. I will defeat arthritis. I try. I also supplement with collagen and vitamin C according to protocol how it's said to do. And saying that, I noticed that not only knee, my nails, fingernails start acquiring this natural luster. Before it was very dry and vertical like lines. And I don't do manicures like artificial, like gel manicure, because it's even worse. But now nails are looking just amazing. And it's first signs that it all works. And I hope that I will defeat all the other issues, because with a long life, I had quite more than just arthritis. But X39 is really, really, it's like, I don't know how Ice Wave working, but X39 is just like in an hour remove any pain. It's from my bottom of my heart, I can say. That's probably it so far. I will keep posting or a testimonial as progress will be going, because I hope that I will get better.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, that is something that I forgot to mention as well, is that I told Chris after the first month, I said that I think David Schmidt needs to start selling the X39 patches together with a nail clipper, because I've never cut my nails so much. Before it would be like maybe once every 2 weeks, and now it's like almost every 3 or 4 days that I have to cut my nails. So yeah, those are some of the benefits that we see. There's supposed to be a Dr. Larry on the call as well. I don't know if you are here. If you can maybe just unmute yourself and let me know if you are here so that I can get your testimony. I've gone through some of the names, but I haven't seen you on the call. And then if there isn't anyone, then I see George, you raised your hand. If you want to maybe share your testimony, then that would be awesome.
Hi there, Carlo. How are you?
Yeah, great.
Cool. I'm back home in Spain after spending the weekend with Chris in London. We were both on another stage together. So my testimony is a little bit different. Besides my health, my energy and focus improved dramatically. A cough that was a lifelong cough that I'd been to endless specialists for. I'd had endoscopy, colonoscopy, CAT scan, MRI scan, special nuclear MRI scan, allergy tests, emotional therapy sessions. I would cough. I would explode into cough 5, 6, 7 times a day for a few minutes. And people think I was dying. And everybody who knew me said, ignore him. He's like that. So after about 8 months with the patches, I can say I barely cough. But that's not the testimony I want to talk about. The testimony really that I want to share is the fact that it's wonderful to hear these stories. It gives me goosebumps, but it also makes me think, my first reaction to life was no, I'm not interested. That was my first reaction. But then I saw a video with David Schmidt talking about his invention to health professionals, and I said, okay, what a humble man. If this is true, it's revolutionary. I want to try it. And so my testimony, if I had not, and I really didn't want to watch this video because it was 36 minutes. If I had not listened to it, none of you would be on this call. None of you would be on this call, and I wouldn't be hearing these stories. So, this is a testimony on the power of LifeWave on another way, in the power of sharing it with other people. The more you share it, the more these things, you will hear these things. You think, wow, if I hadn't opened my mouth, this wouldn't have happened. So I know it's a bit of a funny testimony, but it's a really important one. And I'll just finish by saying, what we have here, we're offering 4 things. One, which is the most obvious one, is better health and well-being. The next one is better emotional health. when somebody in a family unit or in a group of people is in a better condition, other people notice, and the whole family gets happier. I've had messages with, you can't imagine the joy this has brought to our family. So emotional health, spiritual health, I get testimonies every single day, or stories, people getting in touch with me with these improvements of things that I've never even heard of, and it's wonderful. And then financial health, we're improving people's financial health. One of the products is LifeWave, and that's not so obvious because everybody goes, yeah, X39, X49, and all the other products. But one of the products of LifeWave is the compensation plan. So, when you hear people who were back against the wall and broke, having their financial anxieties disappear, and I have many, many, many stories like that, that's the other thing that LifeWave is offering. So that's my testimony for today.
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much, George. Very important to share. Tanya, I see in the comments that you're willing to share for us. It would be great if you can come off mute and share your amazing testimony.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'd be happy to share. I love the stories. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. If somebody told me, even a few months ago that this is possible, I would have said no way, just absolutely no way. And I'm one of these people who had absolutely nothing to lose by the time I learned about X39. I was on my knees, pretty literally. I had to sleep for 12 hours. I could barely get out of bed. Fatigue, you name it. It was just incredible. And I saw a friend talking about it on Facebook. And I thought I absolutely need it. I only needed to hear a little bit that, it's our light and the frequency and the sharing. And somehow it all came together, and I had X39. And I remember going to the office the following day and wearing X39 for the first time. And one of the things I had almost like a chronic pain in my neck and my shoulder. And it was there for like 6-7 months, and absolutely nothing was helping, no stretching, nothing. And I remember a couple of hours after I put my first X39 on, the shoulder pain was gone. And I remember getting up and walking around the office and moving my shoulder and lifting my arm. And I couldn't lift my arm past my shoulder before that. And the pain wasn't there, and I kept looking for it. And I thought, this is incredible. But I thought, okay, the neck still hurts, so that's okay. And the next day, the neck pain was gone. It hasn't returned, and the energy started coming back. I haven't had that level of energy in about 3 years now. So the fact that I'm able to get through the day is absolutely incredible, because I used to crash. If I was able to be active during the day, I would crash for about 3 days after that. But that's not even the best part of it. If I have another 2 minutes, I'll tell you the best part of it. So about a year ago, I had detached retina. I was traveling, I was overseas, and I bumped my head on the bus, and my eye started hemorrhaging. And I went to the emergency, and twice they told me that I'll be fine. So and I lost my sight completely. 18 days later, I came back to the UK, and I was rushed into emergency surgery. My retina was completely detached, retina, macula, everything. And since then, I had 5 really complex surgeries just to try and get the retina to stay in place, because every time they would secure it, it would detach again. And luckily, my last surgery was on the 31st of May. And I was told that, I'm very, very lucky. It's a miracle in itself that the retina is attached now, but I cannot expect the eyesight ever, because the nerve endings are dead. You cannot resurrect something that is dead, right? And all I could see basically was just very distorted shapes and a little bit of color, and that was about it. It couldn't be improved. And I think I've been on X39 now for 7 weeks. So a few weeks ago, I realized that I could see the shapes, you know, so the microwave, instead of being distorted and stretched in every direction, was the shape it should have been. And I thought this is quite interesting. I'll wait a little bit. A few days later, I was walking around car park at work, and I could read the number plates, and I thought, this is ridiculous. This can't be happening. And about a week ago, I received the book that I wanted to read. I'll show you. That's the book, and I was able to read the titles. And this is something that just shouldn't be happening. And it's just getting better and better every day. You know, I'm trying not to push it, but every day I'm starting to see more and more. And I have an appointment with specialists tomorrow, and I would be very, very curious to see what they see, because I know what I see, but I want to know what they see and how it changed against the baseline. And I think this is just the beginning. This is 7 weeks. So yeah, I'll keep going. It's an absolute miracle.
That
Wow.
is absolutely amazing. Sure. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is absolutely awesome.
Can I add
Ben-
something? We
Yes,
met.
go for it,
This is
George.
also something really important for guys. Guys, when you have the chance to go to an event, go to the event. I met Carlo in Johannesburg the other day. You actually left. I saw you get in your car driving off. We didn't say goodbye. But I met Tanya in London. So we get to know each other in person, not just as digital beings, but in physical beings. And that make this whole story more powerful for everybody. So I encourage you guys, you know, when you have a chance, always go to events if they're in your city or near your city. Try and get there. I don't know what Carlo would add to that, or even Wilson. Maybe he could add to that as a kind of a testimonial of how events help.
Yeah, that is so important. Thank you, George, for sharing that. Yeah, the events really just build the friendship, and LifeWave becomes part of your family. There's so many amazing friends that we've met, and so many people that we get to know by actually going to all these events. So yeah, that is very important. Benita, I see your hand is up. I'm going to ask you to share, and then Charles, you can go after her as well. Benita, you can just unmute yourself and then share.
Okay, can we just test? Can you hear me, Carlo?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Because I'm struggling a bit with technology. I was coming in a bit late, so I missed the first few words that you said, but I could hear what you were talking about. And I just first want to say, yeah, I'm Benita. I'm from South Africa in Saldanha Bay, very far from events and all that. And I only came into LifeWave 2 weeks ago, started use the products a week ago. And amazing things has happened in just 1 week. I mean, the testimony that Carlos shared in the beginning was all just because I kept my eyes open for someone that's in pain. And it wasn't even going just for the money. That was helping someone that's in real pain and agony. And the amazing teamwork that I saw was just, I've never seen it before, never even in my life. So I just want to thank everyone for that. And then myself, for my own testimony, I started this LifeWave journey in a very, very difficult circumstances. I'm not going to go into that, but I'm under very heavy stress and just a lot of things. But I'm pushing through and I'm pushing through. I started with a X39 and I only got the pain one later. The ice wave. I only got that, started with that yesterday. One of my main things is arthritis in my hips, mostly in my right hip. So with the other things I used, with the X39, I was getting very tired in the afternoon and that, but it's also because I've got stress and I also wear hearing aids. So sometimes late in the afternoon, my head feels a bit fuzzy. So I don't know what all it was, but I also afterwards realized I'm actually detoxing. And I got some info on the detox, and that really helped. So I know what's going on in my body. There is something going on there. And what happened when I used Ice Wave yesterday on my right hip is especially one place that's the most sore. It felt late in the day, it felt a bit less, the pain. But at night, when I want to go and sleep and I took it off, the pain felt a bit more. It felt almost as if it was sort of throbbing, but not like a loud throb. But it was like something is happening there. I can feel something is happening. So when I wake up today, I put the second patch on the same place. And late in the day, I put it over to the other side, the left side. Today, I wore it again on the right-hand side. And tonight, it's almost gone, the pain. There's not pain. It's just a little bit of feeling there, but no pain. So that's amazing. And it's just with pushing through, and this is just all amazing. I just want to say thank you to all and just keep going. Thank you, Carlo.
Thank you so much, Benita, for sharing. And yeah, we praise God for the healings and the testimonies. It's absolutely amazing. Charles, thank you so much. I'll ask you just to unmute yourself and then you can share yours for us as well. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I just want to share my testimony. It happened in November last year when I had sciatica for 50 years. It was a pain that I had. I couldn't really sleep very well at night time. Every night I would turn and toss because of the pain. Nothing really helped. I never had pain medication that I was on. Nothing really helped until I spoke to Chris Hatting, and then he sent me some information about these patches, and the X39 arrived on the 7th of November for the first time, and for the first time in 50 years, that same night I slept without pain, and I have never had pain ever since then until now. But going down, I've been on these patches for about 10 months now, but there's been a lot of health issues that I had. Now, the one was that I was diagnosed with dementia. The other thing is that I had prostate cancer. I had high blood pressure. I had diabetes. I had glaucoma. And I was living on a box full of medication, pills, and all sorts of things. But the amazing thing down the road, as I was going through, as I said, I've been on the patches for about 10 months. And I'm absolutely blown away because I've gone off all my medication. All those issues, health issues, have completely dissipated. And I am one big bundle of health. And I'm sharing my testimony with so many people. It's absolutely amazing how many people are coming to live presentations and listening to my story. And my goal next year, I'm actually a music teacher. I'm going to be leaving teaching at the end of this year because my goal and my passion is to go and share this technology with people by going. My wife and I are going to do a roadshow and just share this amazing technology with people in South Africa. And that is my testimony. I'm so excited to be part of this business.
Wow. Charles, thank you so much for sharing. It's the first time I've heard your testimony, and that is just absolutely amazing. You know, if I can just encourage everyone before I let Marlena share her testimony, I see your hand is up. A lot of people tend to say, you know, how do we know that this thing works? And they wear it for a week or 2 weeks. They say, I don't feel anything. I'm still in pain. Nothing has happened. And, you know, so many people have seen phenomenal results when they just keep pushing through. As we've said, every person's body heals at a different pace, and we also never know what is wrong with us internally. You know, the stem cell rejuvenation could be targeting your heart, it could be targeting your liver or any other organ that you can't feel actually changing. And it's just phenomenal to just hear people who have pushed through as long as Charles has for 10 months and seen phenomenal results coming off all the medication like that. That is just absolutely awesome. Thank you for sharing. Marlena, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and then you can share your testimony with us.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I have been on the patches for 18 months. I actually met Chris Hutton a few years ago for the first time, and he knew about my situation with my knees. It was really, it was getting worse by the day, but I must say that, yeah, I was suffering from severe osteoarthritis, and like 12 years ago already, they said they cannot do knee replacements because of the fact that I had polio as a child of 5, and the muscle tone in my knees, or shall I say in my legs, will not support it. So Chris came over to my house. He lives probably about 20 kilometers from me, and he patched me with Ice Wave first, and also X39 on both knees. So X39 and Ice Wave double patched for about, well, 4 days. The pain didn't ease immediately. It took me, like the next day I could feel it's like probably 30% less. And long story short, 3 days later, I was totally pain-free. I could not get out of a chair anymore, and whenever we had to go to a place where it's like lots of stairs or very rough terrain, I had to be in a wheelchair. I battled to do my shopping. I could no longer go through the mall and do everything I needed to do. I would basically go to one shop once in 2.5 weeks and then lie on the trolley, and then in great pain, because I was then at that stage, or shall I say the year before, I went on to, what do you call it, anti-inflammatories, which is terrible for the kidneys, and also pain medication on a daily basis. And when I went to the mall, I had to take 2 of each. So then I would come back and I would be totally kaput for the next 3 days. I could hardly get out of my chair. So then I continued with the Ice Wave, but because nobody told me to stop using Ice Wave when the pain is gone, I continued for about 10 days. And then I said to Chris, called me, and I said, oh, well, you know, pain is gone and I'm still on the Ice Wave. He said, no, that you only take when you've got severe pain. So then I obviously stopped the Ice Wave, and I patched with with Aeon. Now, I'm telling you, the Aeon is my very best go-to patch, because wherever, no matter wherever you have pain, there is inflammation. And the Aeon really takes it away. Now, luckily, I'm fairly healthy otherwise, but my hands also, my one hand especially, could not really close properly like that. I could close it just like that. And that obviously perfect now. I can do all sorts of things with it. And the other thing is, which I mean, I never heard of anybody doing that. You have, when you get older, apparently you have a condition where your teeth sometimes becomes like floating, like one tooth at a time. And because of the wastage of the bone, or the bone shrinkage or something in the jaw. Now, I've heard it from one other person who used it for that, and I could not believe what he was saying, because I've never heard of anything like that. And about 3 months ago, I had this most dreadful toothache from hell. It started right there, and you know, when you get an injection for that tooth there, it feels like it's going right up into your ear and eye and everything. So Alan, I felt I actually then put some Ice Wave right on the tooth, right next to each other. And within 45 minutes, but I'm telling you that the pain was horrific. And within 45 minutes, the pain was like 60% gone. Within an hour, no pain anymore. So then I slept with it. And the next day, I actually put an glutathione at the top here, and right here at the bottom, same place where the tooth is, Aeon. And I walked with, I kept that on, well, 12 hours on, 12 off for 3 days. Oh yeah, and by the way, and I felt the gum and it was like swollen. And I thought maybe it's an abscess, but I knew there's nothing wrong with the tooth as such. So what happened is I sort of ticked on, you know, on the tooth, like, and I nearly went through the roof. And then I felt it's actually moving. And I thought, oh God, you know, once or twice in my life, I had this horrible dream where all my teeth came loose and I spit it out, and it was like a really bad dream. And I thought, oh hell, is this now the dream coming true? So I walked with that for 3 days and pain was gone, everything. And all of a sudden, the tooth settled. And it's back in where it should be, but it's left a tiny little gap. If I say little gap, it's just found another sort of place to settle. If I say less than a hair's width, and it's perfect. It's perfect. No problem. Never went to the dentist. And now last week, the same happened on this side. And once again, I felt it, and it was slightly moving. And I did the same protocol, and it's fixed. It's fixed after 3 days. It's perfect. It's not loose anymore. So yeah, that was something very unexpected. But going back to my knees, I can now walk as fast as any youngster, pushing the trolley, not lying on it. But I must admit, I will never be able to negotiate stairs. I will never be able to walk down steep inclines because my muscle tone is absolutely, just due to the polio, too weak. I could never do it as a child in any case. I used to battle with stairs all my life. So from that aspect, you know, you cannot imagine that, or shall I say, expect that all of a sudden you must now be like a youngster again. And from the age of 5, I did not have normal legs, so how can I expect it now? So I'm just very grateful that I've got no pain anymore, and that I can at least walk fast in a normal level setting. And yeah, that is the one thing. And then I know George and I bumped heads a bit in the beginning, because George was extremely passionate about the business part of it. And, you know, and to me, it was all about health at that stage, totally. But at the same time, I'm a SAFSA pensioner. And at that stage, and we were getting like 2,100 a month. And luckily I stay in my own flat, but with the children. So, you know, I just kept on. I survived and I lived okay, but I could never survive on my own. And then, but at the same time, I knew I could not afford it, because my patches cost me about 4,500 a month on average, because 1 month I get the X39 and 49, and then the next month I buy 3, like 2 Aeon and a glutathione or whatever, because then it's the best value for money as well. However, I went into it in faith, and I said, you know, I can never pay for this unless I do the business. And I said, if I can only just make enough to pay my own, I'll be grateful. And for 9 months to the day, I actually made just enough, like 5,000, 5,500 a month. So hardly anything extra. And in August last year, I was really depressed about the whole situation, because I haven't signed on somebody for like 3 months. And I nearly gave up, but I carried on. And then overnight, but I built, I was manager within 3 weeks. I didn't know anything about the business. What I want to say is, most people who sign up, they say, oh, they first need to learn and they do this. No. I say, like Richard Branson said, you must, when an opportunity presents itself, you must grab it with both hands, run with it and learn later. And that is what I did. And to the day, well, the end of December was 9 months. And then, because I signed up on the 29th of March last year. So by the 2nd of January, I opened my computer, my back office, and my business has exploded like an atom bomb. And yes, within a few, I think 2 months from there, I was director, and I was earning a huge income. And what I want to say is, in South Africa especially, but I think it's a worldwide phenomena, people are battling to get jobs, especially if you're over, actually 45, but definitely over past 50, you don't find a job, no matter what your qualifications. And, you know, we've got the BEE rubbish here. And what actually is fantastic is, where can you start a business up with $125? That's the bronze pack. With no risk whatsoever, because you are already getting the value in your first X39. So you've got no overheads, no staff, water, lights, rental, nothing. And you work your business from your home or wherever you are, and depending on how much you put in, you get out. And the big thing is also, I do feel that this was an opportunity given to me for a reason. And if nothing else, I drive a 32-year-old car, and it's like my child. I will not get rid of my 32-year-old car because I don't drive far and so on my own. So, no, I can buy a brand new car now, cash, but I won't do it because there's no need for it. And what is so wonderful is I can now help people put food on the table. People who really lost their jobs and they really haven't got food on the table. So, yes, that to me is the most important. And like I say, it's done wonders for my knee. And Aeon is my very, very best go-to patch. Wherever you've got a pain, whether it's your back or your neck or your whatever, Aeon for me is my best patch. But I obviously just keep using the X39, X49, you know, I rotate it. And yeah, that's my story.
Marlena, thank you so much. You know, I've heard a very shorter version of your testimony, but I think today the amount of passion and depth and love and care that you shared has truly inspired everyone. And, you know, very grateful to have you on the call and, you know, be able to have heard your testimony and your journey so far. And yeah, it's just amazing what LifeWave does do, especially on the business side, because people don't start this because of the business. People start it because of their health, but because the product works so phenomenally well and people get results, they will naturally tell. And
Absolutely,
you know, that's just something that happens so amazingly. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for that. George, I saw you put up your hand, and then Don,
Hi.
you can
Hi.
also quickly share your testimony.
So I want to say, yes, we did butt heads with Marlena. She was a toughie, bless her. It's wonderful to hear this, and it's wonderful to see Marlena's face when I first saw her face was full of pain. There weren't smiles. She wasn't shining. You wouldn't see her looking the way she does, and with that happiness that she's transmitting to everybody. So, you know, this is when I talk about it's not just physical health we're offering here and that we can offer to other people. It's a lot more. So thank you, Marlena. And again, I met Marlena in person in South Africa, though she didn't come up on the stage because of the steps. But, you know, it's something wonderful to see, truly. And yes, I am passionate about the business. And you know, what some have heard me say this, and I'll just say this: you need to have passion. You can hear Marlena's got it. You hear I've got it. Patience, on the one hand. You need to have persistence and consistency on the other hand, just like anything else. You need to have the desire and willingness to learn, which not everybody does. Some people get it, some people don't, but you need to have made the decision. I'm actually going to do this. Marlene didn't give up. She actually made a decision. I'm actually going to stick around and look at those changes. So the last thing I'll say is the difference between this and any other networks is this is going downhill with the wind at your back, not uphill with the wind in your face. What do I mean by that? People naturally tell other people because the products work in themselves, or other people see the person who's using X39 and say, hey, you're looking much better, you're looking younger, how come you're walking without a walking stick, etc., etc., etc. So people naturally tell other people. So yeah, I have a huge passion for this.
Awesome, George. Thank you for sharing. Just want to find Don, and then Don, you can unmute yourself and you can also share your testimony.
Can you hear me, Carlo?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Don.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much for organizing this testimony session. And I want to also thank all the business partners for sharing their personal amazing testimonies. You know, I'm very grateful to the couple that introduced me to this wonderful gift in March. I think it was the 3rd of March. And I was a skeptic, very skeptical, because I couldn't believe how can a 5 rand size type of a patch and in this leaf help so many people with health challenges. And I'm so grateful for this precious gift. But I want to quickly touch on my story with the X39 in particular. We started to use the patches that my wife and I in March. Within, because of our extensive travel and corporate pressures, we used to tank as well, and at the end of the week from exhaustion and tiredness. And, you know, we had to just cope with it, and it's the type of work we do. But as soon as we started to patch with the X39, amazingly, the tanking just went away in a week. The energy we just had from these patches was amazing, you know. And my wife struggled with mental fog, you know, where you get so tired you can't even think. Within a couple of days using this X39 patches, her concentration, the mental clarity improved so much. But I want to quickly talk about my mom, who's 82 years old, and she has joined us on this call tonight. She has struggled with 3 chronic challenges, but I'll touch today just on her high blood pressure, which she had a problem with for many years, about 10 to 15 years. On Monday, she has been going for her checks and her blood pressure has been improving. On Monday, and I got a text from her, and her blood pressure results were 127/82. And her pulse has dropped to 64, an 82-year-old. It just made me feel so comfortable saying, if I can do this to my own mom, it just makes me feel good, because slowly she's winning back or taking back all the concoction of drugs and pills she has been taking or having been prescribed for many years. And I'm obligated to share this with as many people as I can. And I'm very grateful to David Smith and the company. Thank you very much, Carlo.
Don, thank you so much for sharing that. It's absolutely great to hear. Just to let you know, I've seen some of the chats. I did speak to Chris. When he gets back, he said he's going to actually take this call and break up each of the testimonials separately. so that we can have all the testimonials recorded separately. Those of you who feel you want to maybe re-record your testimony, please feel free to do that. But it is a suggestion that I told Chris that instead of having a very long testimonials call, is actually take them and break them up into smaller little videos so that we can share them amongst our team. So yeah. Is there anyone else who would like to add anything or share something? Wilson, I don't know if you're still on the call and if you want to jump in and share something in closing. Wilson, if you're trying to speak, you are on mute.
Hi, buddy.
All right.
Sorry, struggling with my internet, yeah. So yes, no, we're seeing amazing things happen all the time. I think the biggest testimony that I've heard in the last week is from our American team, and it's a friend of ours that we've been patching for the last 3 months, and he has huge problems with his kidneys, and we finally got the test results from his doctor, and the results are incredible, and we actually have the proof because the tests were done before we started patching and now afterwards, and we've seen an incredible improvement, and we're just seeing this week on week happening, and it just excites me. I think we're still very early with what we're doing. I mean, there's a small percentage of people in South Africa that know about this, and yeah, it just excites me. I think we're in the right place at the right time with the right product, and I feel obligated in sharing it with people because it could make a huge difference in their life.
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, we must definitely get that test maybe added into our next presentation. That would be amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on it.
All right, guys, I'm going to give one more person the opportunity to share if they have anything to say. Otherwise, we're going to call it good and end the call.
Guys, just do it. Just tell everybody. Share the patches with everybody. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, my Uber driver yesterday in London, you know, for him, his wife, his daughter, you share it with everybody everywhere you go. Some will, some.
Thank you, George. That is awesome.
Do you remember?
Your passion always reminds me of just speaking to everyone on the plane, speaking to anyone in a taxi.
Do you remember in Johannesburg, I told you about a woman I met in the queue for passport control in Johannesburg? She came to the London and she's now with LifeWave.
Wow. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, you never know. You sow a seed today and in a few days or a few weeks, even a few months, people contact you and say, listen, are you still doing that thing?
Or even in 2 years. I'll tell you this one before you close, and this is interesting. So my brother, he's in London, and I'm going through London. I'm doing this thing of patches, another crazy thing of George's. Okay. And then I'm just on my way to wherever it was. And then I'm on my way through London to wherever it was, going to talk at an event. Okay, nothing. No interest. One conversation, oh yeah, all the answers, all the skepticism. But I met a man at a wedding, and I didn't know that this man's wife was the niece of my sister-in-law. Had no idea. Anyway, he says, what do you do? I tell him, he says, that's very interesting. I want to try. So he tries his wife. He's particularly for his wife. And my brother calls me just recently, said, and I had no idea about their relationship, and calls me and says, you know what? My wife's niece just told her that she's had an amazing result with those patches of yours. We want to try them. 2 years, almost 23 months. So, yeah.
Wow. That is awesome. Thank you so much, George, for sharing, and thank you for being on the call. Really
you.
awesome. Guys, we're going to stick to the time and end the call. Absolutely amazing. Thank you for all your testimonies. And yeah, when Chris does get time, I'm sure he'll edit this call and put in all the testimonials in all the groups. So thank you so much. God bless. Have an awesome evening.
Thanks, Carlo. Thanks, everybody.
Everything.